The sun was dipping low, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink over the sprawling 50 acres of my family's farm. This land, nestled between rolling hills with a creek car VYing its way through the eastern edge, wasn't just dirt and grass, it was our legacy. My great-grandfather, Henry, bought it in 1947, fresh off the war, pouring his heart into every acre. My dad, Thomas, tended it until arthritis stole his strength, and 12 years ago Michael Carter, took the reins. Every inch of this place tells a story. The massive oak tree Henry planted when Dad was born, the apple orchard I helped Dad set out when I was a kid, the southern field where my grandma showed me which wild plants he could eat. This farm isn't just land, it's who we are. Last year, the property next door went up for sale. The old owners, a quiet elderly couple, where good neighbors waved when we crossed paths, sometimes bought my tomatoes. I wasn't worried about new folks MOVYing in. Boundaries had been clear for decades. Any decent person would respect that. So when I met the new owners, James and Laura Mitchell, during their final walkthrough, I brought over a basket of spring veggies, way of saying welcome. There were city types 3 hours away, looking for a weekend getaway. James held the basket like he'd never seen a zucchini before, muttering, "Nice gesture." Laura chimed in, "We don't cook much, but we love how charming it is out here." Her tone, that word charming, felt like a pat on the head, but I let it slide. Not everyone gets rural life. I figured they'd either settle in or keep to themselves. For a few months, they did just that. Weekends only, fixing up their house, polite but distant. We'd nod, exchange small talk, nothing deep. Then, in early June, I left for a week, 3 days at an agricultural conference, then a quick VY sit to my aunt recovering from surgery. DRI VYing back up my long dirt driveway. Something felt wrong. I couldn't place it until I parked and glanced west, with a sunset used to glow over my fields. There, like a slap in the face, stood a massive, shiny garage, brand new, expensive, and from where I stood, partly on my land. My heart sank. I spent that evening unpacking, trying to con VY NCE myself. It was a trick of the eye. Maybe they'd surveyed properly, and it just looked off. But morning confirmed the truth. That garage wasn't just on my property, it sprawled 12 feet over the line, gobbling up 400 square feet of my land. Worse, they'd messed with the natural slope, setting up a runoff disaster come rainy season. That spot was where I'd planned to expand my berry patch, soil prepped and perfect. It was also where I'd sit on my porch, watching the sunset, remembering Mom and Dad in their final years, rocking side by side. Now, that VYEW was gone, blocked by their gleaming monument to arrogance. I dug out my property survey from 3 years back, clear as day. They were on my land. I marched over, survey in hand, but no one answered. Tried again the next day, then the day after, nothing. Finally, the following weekend, I saw their SUV pull in. James opened the door, all smiles. "Hey, something wrong with the veggies?" he asked like we were buddies. I kept my voice steady. "No, it's about that garage you built." His face tightened. "Isn't it great? Top of the line. Keeps our cars clean out here." I held up the survey. "Problem is, it's 12 feet onto my land. I've got the documentation." Neither of them reached for it. Laura laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound. "That can't be right. Our contractor checked everything." "Did you get a survey?" I asked. They glanced at each other. "Well, no," James admitted, "but we used the old fence line. Our architect said it was fine." I pointed out the fence hadn't been maintained in decades, shifting over time, never the true boundary. James leaned back, arms crossed. "Look, even if you're right, it's just a few feet. You got 50 acres. You don't need every inch." My blood boiled, but I stayed calm. "It's my property, and you build on it without asking. Plus, you've screwed up the drainage, which will hurt my crops." Laura sighed, dramatic as a soap opera star. "If anything, we've improved things. That spot was just weeds. Our garage makes your farm look better." I laid it out plain. "The garage needs to move back to your property." James scoffed. "Do you know how much this cost? We're not MOVYing it over a few feet of worthless land." "It's not worthless to me," I shot back. "I've got plans for it." He waved me off. "Fine, we'll buy that strip for due law $500. More than fair." Laura piped up. You should be thanking us. That farm's an eyesore. We're boosting your property value." I was done. As I walked away, James yelled, "Think about the due law 500. You'll never use that land anyway." The next day, I called a surveyor. He confirmed the encroachment. Then I got a lawyer, Sarah, who specialized in property disputes. She told me to document everything and check for permits. Surprise. Surprise they hadn't bothered with those either. The county had no record of any approval for that monster garage. Meanwhile, the Mitchells were using it, stuffing it with fancy equipment and vintage cars. Sarah helped me file a formal complaint. Digging through old family records, I found something big. That western boundary wasn't just a line I followed, a watershed DV critical for the creek that fed multiple farms. Their garage was messing with water flow, threatening the whole community. When the Mitchells got the legal notice, they tried to settle, upping their offer to do Law 2,000, still a joke. I refused. Then they went full charm offensive, donating to the local school, hosting a barbecue for the fire department, spinning a tale about the stubborn farmer harassing them over a minor boundary issue. Some folks bought it. I started getting cold stares at the feed store, old friends turning distant. It hurt, but I knew I was right. The turning point came at a town meeting about water conservation. The creek came up, and I saw my chance. Standing up, I laid it out calm, clear, with water samples and an environmental engineer's report. "This isn't just about my land," I said. "That garage, built without permits or a survey, is sending runoff with driveway sealant and car fluids into our creek. It's poisoning the water we all rely on." Farmers who irrigated with that creek got it instantly. By the meeting's end, the room was with me. A week later, the county inspector cited the Mitchells for multiple violations. The court date, 6 months after I first saw that garage, was nerve-wracking but airtight. Sarah had everything: historical records, environmental reports, crop damage estimates. Then the contractor dropped a bomb under oath. He'd warned the Mitchells about the boundary, urged a survey, but they'd brushed him off, rushing to build while I was away. The judge's face was stone. He ordered the garage torn down, the land restored to its original state, and the Mitchells to pay due law $42,000 for crop losses and my legal fees. "Property rights are the bedrock of our community," he said. "Ignoring them for convenience undermines us all." The Mitchells were livid, storming out without a glance my way. 3 weeks later, the garage came down under county watch. Restoration took another month. They'd glare from their house, but never spoke to me. 2 months after it was done, a for sale sign went up. They couldn't face the town, especially after word spread they'd knowingly built on my land and tried to turn everyone against me. With part of the settlement, I set up a conservation easement along that boundary, ensuring it'd never be touched again. Where their garage once stood, I planted a young oak, grown from an acorn of Henry's tree. It felt right, a new chapter for the land. At the harvest festival, neighbors I hadn't spoken to in years came up, offering respect. Old man Jenkins, who barely talks, gripped my hand. "You did right," he said. "Not just for you, for all of us." The new neighbors, a young couple with farming know-how, are a breath of fresh air. Before touching their land, they brought their survey, and we walked the line together. Now we swap equipment, share tips, even grab a beer sometimes. Every evening, I sit on my porch, sunset wide and clear across my fields. That young oak's growing strong, a quiet reminder of what's worth fighting for. My grandpa used to say land doesn't belong to us, we belong to it. Our job's to protect it for those who come next. I think he'd be proud. But sometimes I wonder, what if I'd taken their due law 500 and let it go? It'd have been easier, sure, but boundaries, physical and personal, matter. Defending them wasn't just about my farm. It was about respect, community, the rules that keep us together. This land's more precious to me now, not because I won, but because I remembered why it matters. It's not just soil and trees, it's a trust, and I'm more determined than ever to honor it. So what do you think? Were the Mitchells just clueless city folks who made a mistake, or were they deliberately trying to bully their way onto Michael's land? Should Michael have taken the due law 2,000 and avoided the fight, or was standing his ground worth the cost? And what about the community? Were they too quick to judge Michael based on the Mitchell story? Or is it human nature to pick sides? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this story got you fired up, and subscribe for more tales that'll make you think twice about where you draw the line.